out to Enrique. Writes, peace of the saints. That suit is way too fly. I need to boss up. I'm watching this with my mother, and she wants to ask you. Marquette says black women are broken. So who broke them? How are they broken? And how can they be fixed? Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And shout out to families learning together. That's a beautiful thing. I really appreciate that. So number one, and I know women love to hear this, so I will state this, that if I say black men are down bad, if I say black women are broken, we're not talking about all of them. That just would be untrue. We're talking about most of them. And if you've never been to Atlanta, you'll never know how down bad black people are. Goddamn, Atlanta's a hellhole. I went I went in with very high hopes. I went into Atlanta. None of these niggas spoke English. All these niggas like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, twin? What'd you say? What is wrong with you niggas? And why are you wearing skinny jeans and you're still sagging? And why are you only weigh $120, but you're a grown man? What drugs are you on? This is so strange. You weigh $120, then you got these fat black women over here weigh 220. It's insane. Why do you girls weigh 220? And why are your wig games so bad? Like, you guys have the worst wigs. I haven't seen worse wigs except in Africa and Baltimore. It's the worst wigs. Anyways, now to the question. Marquette says black women are broken. So who broke them? Now, the truth of the matter is that men, and so if we take it out of racial terms, men are the leaders of women. Women are crooked. Their nature is not straightforward, linear, honest. When they're managed by a proper father, then they will be at their best and they will be a great value add to their family. When that is not the case and they're left to their own devices, then they will surely walk a rough path, and they will also tend to harm those that they come into contact with directly, or they'll create drama that will, affect others. When a female is unled, uncared for, the trouble ensues and the mental issues grow. In the historical context of the Black American woman, during enslavement, the natural leader of the black woman, which would have been the black man, was replaced by the enslaver, doing some form of leading her, however brutal. And at the end of enslavement, the hierarchy was not put back together. So the black woman maintained a respect for the white man who enslaved her and also had all of the resources. He also did much else to her that was unfortunate, but did not recover the respect for the black man who, during Reconstruction and shortly after enslavement, had not been able to step back to the helm of the family, though he did make progress over time. As a mass, black women have been reacting to the historical trauma and various lacks, inclusive of financial and material lack, the lack of emotional and intellectual development of the black male coming out of recent enslavement, lack of education, all the rest of it. And that experience broke her, and also the black men broken as well, because in essence, they were a conquered people. The black man and woman, those who have been in bondage, they are of a conquered people. And that is what broke them. Now, the healing process does not have to correct, fix, ignore, or even damn near acknowledge the history, because the fixing process, similar to the breaking process, is one that will involve training. You have to train a human being on being a slave. None of us are born slaves. You have to make a slave. Just like males are not born men, they must be made into a man. A woman must be groomed into a woman. And there are a number of behaviors and inclinations that are in the human female, the male as well, but this is not the current lecture topic, that have to be trained out of her. The loud talking, aggressive, rude, unruly nature of the black female must be trained out of her, and we must start in her youth because many of them are too far gone. The idea that I'm healing, like the last young lady who had a gorgeous smile, beautiful black woman, the idea that you're in your 30s and healing as though you're about to develop into something different is really ludicrous. So my great effort is to hyper focus on the young males and females and first start with teaching them the purpose of their life. The purpose of a woman's life is to become a great wife and mother and find all of her joys through family life. The husband is the key to all of those things, which means selection is at a premium. Women are not great at selecting, which is why they must lean on their father, their uncle, or the assassin, whatever organized bodies, your preacher, your imam, whatever groups of people you trust as a beacon of morality and manliness so that he can select the man. And I'll tell you why. I'll let you in on a secret. Men are going to lie to you, especially the weak men. You see, and here's why black women in particular are very bad at selecting a mate. Here's what they'll do. Let's say you clone Marquette Devon Burton. In fact, yeah, let's say you clone Marquette Devon Burton. So you have me, the exact same version of me cloned right next to me. So you have the saint and the sinner, so to speak. You go and talk to the saint and the woman says, hey, you know what? I'm interested. What are you looking for? And I say, I'm looking for a wife. I'd like to expand my family, have a bunch of kids, and it'll be a great example. She says, okay, yeah, that sounds good to me. I say, okay, great. Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to introduce you to my current wife. Make sure you guys get along and we can build something big. She said, oh, you have a wife? Yes, I do. Of course. She said, oh, no. I'm monogamous. I could only be with one man. I can't have that man be with another woman. I'm monogamous. And I say, okay, no problem. I just wanted to be open and honest as I'm a responsible man. And I want to let you know precisely what's going on with me. So then she goes to the sinner. So she left the saint, goes to the sinner. Exact same man, it would appear. And then she says, hey, I find you to be very attractive, very appealing. What are you looking for? And he says, I'm looking for a woman. I'd like to get married and expand my family. She says, okay, that sounds good, but you're not polygynous, are you? He's like, what? What does that mean? He's like, you don't have multiple wives or anything. No, absolutely not. I just want you. And then he uses the magic trick that can be used on the female brain. He tells her sweet, comforting lies. He exaggerates and she buys it because women are a fantasy. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, which is a ludicrous statement. Doesn't matter who you're talking to. It's ludicrous. I've never loved a woman like I love you. Oh, it's so Disney. It's so Disney. Now imagine by the time you encounter this man, he's dealt with a lot of women. You've dealt with a lot of men. But he tells her, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And I've never loved anyone like I love you. I'd like to be with you for my whole life. I want to be there for you my whole life. And she's like, oh my God, this is just what I've been looking for. Okay, yes. And then she buys into his words. She accepts the dream that he's selling. And she's with him and all is well. Things are great. He's successful. He's good looking. He has good connections and network. He's well respected. And then, one day, he's in the bathroom. He left his phone on the counter. And as I said, the nature of the female is crooked, not necessarily linear and honest. And, no, I'm not going to look because there's all these notifications and they're on the lock screen. I mean, you just look and read and you look at, okay, I'm not opening his phone. The notifications are right there. And she sees all these DMs from women, which of course, I mean, that makes sense. He's a good looking guy. I mean, why wouldn't he have DMs from women? He's appealing. That's why I got him. And she just taps one of the DMs just to see if it'll open. And sure enough, his phone is unlocked. It opens up and there's a whole conversation and women are sending him pictures of this and that. Some of these pictures are unholy. Then he comes out of the bathroom. She's steaming mad. And she's like, hey, I saw one message. And I was just kind of like, who's that? And I just tapped it and just saw all this stuff. And I just can't believe you've been lying to me. And I went through your DMs and she's like, you're sleeping with like 6 women. You got like 6 women just that I saw on IG. I didn't open up WhatsApp. I didn't open up your text. I didn't go on TikTok and Snapchat. There's just 6 women I saw at the top of your inbox on IG. How could you do that? How could you lie to me? How could you lie to me? I loved you. I thought you were going to be my husband. And what does he do? Does he hit her with, like, does he come clean? Hell no. Nah. Hit her with more game. You dig? He like, listen, I used the game to get in. I'm going to use the game to get out. He hit her with more game. He feed her more lies because that's what she really wants. Because here's the thing. If she wanted the truth, she'd have stuck with the first nigga. Marquette, what do you mean? Yeah, she'd have stuck with the first guy because both of the guys are good looking. Both of them are well dressed. Both of them are tall. Both of them have strong position. Both of them are financially well off. You deal with the first guy. He's telling you, hey, you see me? You see me. You're not the only one that wants me. So like, why are we going to pretend as though like I'm going to pass up all these great opportunities to expand my family and to get the most out of what I can get as a man? So I'm telling you the truth. But she went to the other guy who has all the same characteristics as the first guy, except he's weak. Marquette, what do you mean he's weak? He's weak because lying, dishonesty is weakness. And the reason you do it is because you cannot get the girl telling the truth. You can't get her telling the truth. So you lie to her so you could get her, right? So you lie to her